Okay, if you're watching this and the intro's in completely different clothes or I look completely different, it's because I am not filming one right now. I am going to start a reading vlog. So earlier I actually just tried filming my 2025 wrap up, and about 2 minutes into my 1 hour and 20 minutes of filming, I accidentally muted my mic. So anyways, I'm actually upstairs choosing my next read. I think I know what I want to read, but I'm taking a peek at my inventory to see if there's something else that I want to read. Yeah, no, nothing's really piquing my interest, because you know what I'm gonna read? Truthfully, we're gonna see how this goes, because I constantly try to update my boyfriend with what I'm reading, and I really fail horribly every single time. I'll update him the first time I set the book down, and then I won't update him again until I'm done with the book, or I won't remember to update him until I'm done with the book. So my current plan of action is to get ready for bed, and then we're just gonna sit down and read, and we'll see how far we get into the book. Officially up and comfy and cozy and ready for bed. We can go over expectations. I don't really have many expectations. I know that there's a lot of hype around this book, so I'm very excited for that. This will be my third Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I know it's like an interview style, which I'm excited for because it'll just make it that much quicker to read. It's about 350 pages if you didn't know. And yes, let's get into Daisy Jones and the Six. Might be booty cheeks, but I did just get off of work, and I figured before I start driving home I should give a little bit of an update, because I'm already 20% into the book, and by the time I get home I'm probably gonna be like 40, if not further than that. So my first impressions are really good. I actually really am enjoying this book. It's catching me off guard with a lot of things, and I react out loud. I think I really enjoy interview style novels, because I am like reading this so quickly, and I can just like picture the way that like we're cutting scenes to different interviewees, and I really like that a lot. So far I've only seen how the Six became a band, and how Daisy Jones has like decided that she wants to pursue music. I also really like the way that we're getting like different POVs of the same thing from different band members. Like, oh, who is it? Billy and Graham called themselves the Dunn Brothers as they were like making a band, and then they decided to name themselves the Six, and two of the people are like, oh, because it closely sounded like this, and the other people are like, no, that literally was not a reason at all. And it's just really funny to see the way that they're doing all that. But yeah, so I'm gonna drive home and listen to the audiobook a little bit more and see how far we get. I washed my face, I got my tea, I turned the lights down, I'm ready to read. Y'all, I'm so tired. Jordyn and I stayed up till like 1:30 and then woke up at like 8:30 to go do something. Oh, to go to a bookstore event. And I bought a book. I'm gonna show you what book I bought. This quote. Oh my god, I think this is the first quote that I've ever read that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was listening to it while I was driving and I was just like, oh, whoa. I'm not saying that I didn't care. I cared a lot. I'm saying that when you really love someone, sometimes the things they need may hurt you, and some people are worth hurting for. I love that. I love that quote so much. Okay, I'm on page 226. I am probably about 60 to 70% now. I meant to update at 15, but I've been just listening to it while I've been driving, and Jordyn and I have been recording a lot of other videos, so earlier today I did not feel like picking up the camera to record. But I'm really liking it. I keep thinking while I'm listening to this book, like, how does someone even think to write a book like this in that interview style? It's so beautifully done. And it's like every time that Daisy's talking about something, like maybe she'll mention Billy, and then right after that, Billy's thoughts about the exact same position will come in and they'll talk about that. And I just think it's done so. And I just really appreciate that. I'll show you what book I bought today. This really cute bookstore called Thirst in Milwaukee. I picked up same time next summer, since this one won in my Instagram poll, and it's on my February TBR. Bring it with when I go to Arizona or something. Yeah, I really like their store. They have little punch cards, and they like to give away lots of free little goodies like bookmarks and stickers and things. So I'm gonna go read. I'm very tired of talking and interacting. My social battery has hit -16, so. Less than 40 pages left. Let's finish, shall we? Oh, where did the... There we go. I accidentally spoiled something for myself last night while I was looking at how many pages I had left. Cannot stand it when I do that. Oh my god, I did not know that Julia was freaking doing this. Oh my god, I love that. I don't know if you can hear the music downstairs, but if you can, that's my stepdad working out, so. Do you ever get to the end of the book and you're really just trying to savor the words, and so every sentence I'm rereading like 3 or 4 times because I want to fully grasp what is being said? Like, I don't need to reread the words that much. I can understand what's being said perfectly fine, just the same way I've understood the rest of the book. I don't know, there's something about the end of a book that does that to me. If there was one more page, I think I would have cried. I teared up. There's some tears in my eyes right now. That was a really beautiful ending, but I think it needed one more page. Or at least in this song section to add one more song. I need time. And to start my next book. Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. I do not know the last time that I recorded. This was the most epic mega fails of a reading vlog that I think you could ever possibly do. I'm really bad at giving updates. So, we're gonna talk about the 3 books that I technically read in this reading vlog, okay? So, to start, I started filming on January 6th to read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm pretty sure I have all of my thoughts on that, but rated it 5 stars. I really enjoyed that. I started A Letter to the Luminous Deep right after I finished Daisy Jones and the Six. You see me picking this book up, and you see me getting into it. I fell into my work black hole. You ever know your work black hole? I don't know if anyone knows this. Maybe my nursing friends, my 12-hour shift friends out there know this. That when you work back-to-back days, everything else is obsolete until you come out of that. And for me, it's an extra day because I volunteer on Tuesdays, and I get home at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, but then I'm immediately studying or trying to catch back up from my work days. So, forgive me if I ever do this again. I'm going to do my best to not do this ever again. Okay? I started Letter to a Luminous Deep. You watch me start that. I finished it on January 16th. This entire duology is told in archives, in letters, in correspondence, in calling cards, in field journals, anything that's written down. This is what the book is made of. We're following a lot of different people actually. The book opens up and we're talking as E. We're reading a letter from E to Henry. Those are our two main characters in this novel that we're following. And our two main but sub-main characters, Sophie, which is E's sister, and Byron, which is Henry's brother, are going through whatever letters or things that are written down to try and figure out what happened to their respective siblings. So we're following E and Henry and how their relationship develops and evolves throughout this novel while Sophie and Byron are reading this with us. So everything that we see, they're seeing for the first time as well. Something tragic has happened, which is why Sophie and Byron are looking at all these things to try and figure out what exactly happened to E and Henry. E and Sophie grew up in this house called the Deep House, which is a home that's underwater. That's why this whole society lives on an earth that is basically all water. I think there's one island. And as they're reading through these letters, Sophie and Byron are kind of coming to terms with the fact that what they thought had happened to their siblings might not have happened. I can't really go into too much more detail with that. It is a beautiful story regarding mental health, and E and Henry are both kind of more anxious characters, and we get to see how they deal with their feelings and emotions as they progress their relationship and how they overcome different things. I'm going to go ahead and just read my review for this one because I also think that I really spent my time with my review on this and painted a really good picture about my feelings towards this book. I rated A Letter to the Luminous Deep 4 stars. I almost gave this book 3 stars, but towards the end I had to up it. This book is quite slow, but that is in part due to the formatting, the scene setting, and the language. Because the format, as we discussed, is letter and all types of written material. The scene setting, this book is heavy on the imagery. As you can tell just by looking at the cover, the author is really trying to paint a very beautiful picture for you. She's trying to paint a picture in your mind. And the language, because these are letters, I don't know if that's really why, but the language is more of like a proper old-time English. So using words such as jest instead of joking, things like that. With many words that I didn't know the definition of, making it harder to read quickly. So slow story, and I couldn't really get through it. I will say that I like the idea of making this read entirely out of letters, as the very last letter in this, if you know you know, is quite funny in this regard. I think the language is also very beautiful, and I think it's amazing how respectful but also forward people used to be during this time, because during a lot of the letters sent between E and Henry, they're very open with their feelings, but at the same time, they're like apologizing, like, I'm so sorry if I am moving too quickly, or like things like that. And I think I really appreciate how we're going to say what's on our mind, but we're not going to be disrespectful about it. We're not going to disregard what you're feeling just because I'm feeling this way. Overall, this book was fascinating, and while I wasn't in a state of I can't put this down, I was very excited to be able to pick it back up when I got the chance. So like, I listened to it on my way to and from work, and when I got to work, I wasn't like so sad to have to pause it, but as I was packing up to go, I was like, oh, I'm excited to continue the story. Whereas like some stories, you know, you're like, oh, I don't want to have to stop, or I can't wait until I can go home so that I can listen to it more. Yeah, that didn't like give me that, but I was still very excited to be able to pick it back up. The end left me very interested to see how this all will play out, enough so that I did jump into the second novel, which we'll talk about. I do think these books did not have to be a duology if we simply shortened the descriptions. However, I respect that it may be the intention of the author for the vivid descriptions to take time due to how fantastical she imagines this world, and art being a centerpiece. I mean, just look at the cover art for both books. I also respect that it may also be intentional because letters are kind of slow. Now, I guess I did say that prior to finishing the second book, but I was a little bit into the second book when I had written this review. That's why I said this probably did not need to be 2 books. A Letter from the Lonesome Shore, also a beautiful cover art. I rated this book 3 stars. I do really appreciate that I read both of these novels, and I appreciate the story and what the author was doing. I just think that they were a little slow for my taste, or doing them back to back might have been too much, because after this I definitely needed like a quicker palate cleanser type book. Um, I thought there was a lot of charming moments. I thought it was really funny. I thought there was a lot of interesting and original concepts. Again, I think I'm also just not, I can't picture things in my mind at all. So when there's a lot of vivid descriptions, while I appreciate it, it doesn't really do anything for me because I'm unable to picture it. I can kind of make my own picture, but it will most likely be the most incorrect picture in my brain. I can attempt to picture things, but because I can't actually see anything in my brain, it probably looks nothing like what it should. I definitely am going to do way better for my next reading vlog. I promise, guys. I just really got swamped and then never had the chance to pick up my camera. Part of the fact that I need this microphone to film a lot of the clips, if not all of the clips. I also don't have a tripod in my car. There's a lot of stupid, I'm just making a lot of excuses, okay? I did not have a lot of time to film or pick up my camera unless I wanted to be talking at 1 a.m. and I instead would like to be trying to go to bed. So, I promise I'll get better at that. Thanks a lot for joining me on this reading vlog, and I hope you stick around to see more reading vlogs and see how I evolve as a vlogger. If there's anything specific you want to see from us, please feel free to comment that down below. Otherwise, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye!